Hey guys, I'm Tim with Original Strength, and this week I wanted to talk to you about reversing old man syndrome. Now, don't worry, we're equal opportunity here. This could be also considered old lady syndrome. But old man syndrome is, you've probably seen this, where as people get older, and they really don't have to be old for this, but something like in their 30s maybe, this can even happen, that you see the shoulders internally rotate and the hips go out. And then they walk like this. So this can happen for a few reasons. One reason that this can happen is because the body loses stability in the center, and so then it tries to get stability up here and down here to keep you safe and more stable. So it uses your movers to lock you down so that you're safer to move in case you need balance. The other reason that this could happen is because the vestibular system doesn't get activated anymore. We get really good at not moving our eyes and our head. And again, now the body's looking for stability and balance, and this is safer than this. And then the other reason that this could happen is because maybe you're a bench presser and you love the bench press and you load this pattern of internal rotation and external rotation because you're laying on the bench and your legs splay open and your arms get here, and you get really good at this pattern and it shortens everything. And then a fourth reason is you just live here, sitting in a chair. Anyway, what happens is we lose our stability here and we gain it from somewhere else, which means we actually lose our mobility. So how can we reverse this? Well, first things first, if you're not breathing into your belly with your tongue on the roof of your mouth, that's the first thing, because your breathing muscles are your stability muscles. So if they're not working and doing their job, your body's got to get stability from somewhere else. Second is if you're not activating your vestibular system by moving your eyes and your head a lot, you need to do that because that is your balance system. And when you're using it, you get to keep it. And when we activate our vestibular system and we're breathing in our belly, well, then we have stability. So we don't have to lock down, our brain doesn't have to lock down parts of our body to keep us stable. And then the third thing is that if your tissues have gotten shorter and you're tighter and you're just stuck here, you can try to encourage them to open by doing a few different things. One thing I like to do is try to get the internal rotation in your hips by rotating on your heels to get your toes to come in towards each other, and then take a stick if you can. Now this gives you mobility, but it may take mobility too. But so you just move where you move. You can move, but you don't force anything. And then you try to take the stick, and the wider you go, the easier this is. But you try to move into external rotation in your shoulders. So now we got internal rotation in our hips, external rotation in our shoulders, and we can just hang out here and breathe. Down into our belly, tongue on the roof of the mouth. We can also hang out here and do head nods and head rotations. And this encourages our body to let go of this tightness and open up and try to get that mobility back. And so, because now our movers can learn how to move again, because we don't need our movers to lock down our joints, our shoulders, and our hips when we have stability in our center. So we can open up these tissues by trying to hang out here and breathe and move our head with ups and down nods and side-to-side rotations. Some people may be too tight to actually try to get here. So one thing you can kind of do is be clever. So if I'm stuck here in external rotation, if I rotate my body around that hip, now I've put it into internal rotation, and then I can take this shoulder and try to open it up into external rotation. And I can do the same thing. I can breathe, I can do head nods. I may need to do something like add a weight to help my body out. So I could, if I'm stuck here in external rotation, I could rotate around this hip, then I could take a weight and try to externally rotate. See how I put my thumb outside and back. Now I've got external rotation in this shoulder, internal rotation in this hip, and now, yes, I am doing one diagonal side at a time, but that's okay. And I can do head nods here, head rotations. I can breathe into my belly. And then one last thing, just because I like you guys, I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but these are just definitely things you want to play with, especially when we're trying to get rid of old man syndrome. The other thing you can do is farmer's carries, where you grab two weights. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna externally rotate our shoulders by pointing our thumbs out. This may feel ridiculously good. And then we're gonna try to keep our hips, if our hips wanna be here, we're gonna try to internally rotate them by walking on the balls of our feet so that they can't splay out, because we can't get on the balls of our feet when they're splaying out. We can't even use our big toe. But by walking on the balls of our feet, we're gonna force our body to try to go into internal rotation at the hips, but also use our big toe. Your big toe is connected to your hips, and if we can activate the big toe, we may be able to find our hips and get them moving into internal rotation while the shoulders are in external rotation. And just so you know, your shoulders are definitely connected to your hips, and your hips are definitely connected to your shoulders. And when your hips externally rotate, it does make the shoulders want to internally rotate, and vice versa. When the shoulders are internally rotated, it makes the hips want to externally rotate. But again, if we have our center, then we can get rid of those things, because when you have a strong center, you have a stable spine and your brain feels safe, and it doesn't have to lock down other parts of your body to try to get stability and safety. So again, first things first, make sure you're breathing into your belly, because that's gonna set your body free. Make sure you're using your eyes and your head, because that's gonna activate your vestibular system and make sure that your balance is just always there. And so then your body doesn't have to do things like this to keep you safe. So, and then if you need to, you open up your shoulders and your hips by just trying to be clever. Put them in internal and external rotation, hang out and breathe, do your head nods, or just load the patterns and try to see if you can help your body out with those. I know I just threw a lot at you, but you don't need to have old man syndrome or old lady syndrome, and you can reverse it. And it's not because you're getting old, it's just because you're not using your design the way you're designed to use it, which though that actually makes you age. Either way, guys, that's our tip for this week. I'm Tim with Original Strength, and we'll see you next time.